What's going on, gamers? We got a huge topic going on here today, and that's AMD promising to bring FSR 4 upscaling to older Radeon cards starting in July. But the funniest thing about this is the crash out on the Xbox fanboys. And what I mean is how they're jumping the gun thinking that the Xbox Series X and definitely the S that has low Int 8 top performance is going to be guaranteed to get it, and now it's going to be getting pro performance. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, you don't understand how this actually works. It's not gonna even come close to it. But you would be better thinking that if it did get that, it was going to have an advantage over PS5. But what is the cost performance of putting that on the Xbox? Do you really know how that works? Well, I've done a little bit of research myself to help people out to get some nice information here. So this is going to be funny. Get ready. It's going to be a good one. So let's read the highlight right here. AMD brings FSR 4 upscaling to older Radeon GPUs. Now, you remember how the video said they were giving backwards compatibility support with DLSS? It's kind of like that, but when you go back to the older cards, you notice there's some issues. But at least on a PC, when you're running an older card, you could also put a better CPU there, more RAM, and do some more things where it will require Microsoft to go into the firmware and go in there to, you know, work with AMD to change some things around. It's not easy as you think. That's why that's not going to be happening until 2027 for older RDNA cards, because it's easier with RDNA 3. Now, Steam Machine is going to be getting FSR 4.1, which is going to be nice because it has RDNA 3 technology. But the tops is still going to be low, though. That's the problem. What is the performance hit here? And we're going to find out. So AMD's FSR 4.1, a machine learning tech for better visuals and performance, this depends, launches for RX 7000 series RDNA 3 GPUs in July. So Steam Machine is going to get that in time. Ready in over 300 games with reduced ghosting and crisp details. RX 6000 series RDNA 2, which PlayStation has 1.8, by the way. Xbox actually has RDNA 2 for sure. But the problem is that it has no tensor cores or any AI accelerated processing to help it. And the Int 8 performance is like 48 tops. It's pretty low. PS5 Pro has 300. So let's go ahead and shut that down, and we'll get to that in a second. RDNA 6000 series RDNA 2 owners get it in early 2027. Jack highlighted AMD's dedication to its billion-plus gaming devices worldwide, talking about Windows and all that, of course, crediting fans for inspiring the expansion beyond new RX 9000 cards. Tech sites praised the improvements in artifacts, detail at 1080p, 1440p, and most stability. Steam Machine is definitely going to be in this range a lot, so we're going to see how that works on there, but it's a PC, so you can be able to get some different things going on there, unlike a console. All right, so this is where it gets interesting, guys. It's some funny stuff going down here. I want to find this post that is absolutely hilarious. So you kind of see the Xbox fans already, you know, going insane on it. But this guy is what's cracking me up. So here's the funny part. All right, let's just stop here real quick before we get to this. This is what makes me laugh. He says AMD's FSR 4.1 will bring AI-powered upscaling to Xbox Series X RDNA 2 GPU, potentially PS5 Pro like upgrade in 2027. There's nowhere it says that. Now, if that happens, that's cool. You know what I mean? Why would I not want any part of gaming to improve? Oh, and by the way, while you were sitting over there hating on PlayStation 24/7, Mark Cerny was the one that worked for them to get this to work like that on consoles, if it does end up happening. PlayStation helped out on that. You know what I mean? The hypocrisy is real, isn't it? But let's see what Jack actually has to say here, and then we're going to talk about some comments that actually pretty much are funny and kind of put people in their place.
As a lifelong gamer, I spent a lot of time thinking about how to push game experience forward across CPUs, GPUs, software, and games. My team and I have been working hard to evolve FSR 4 and bring it to more cards. We power over 1 billion gaming devices worldwide. It's a responsibility we care deeply about. This July, RDNA 3 players will experience FSR upscaling 4.1, delivering sharper visuals and smoother gameplay than ever before.
Okay.
Even without dedicated floating point AI hardware, gamers everywhere will be able to enjoy the benefits of machine learning upscaling on their Radeon 7000 series. Gaming is more than entertainment. It is where technology meets artistry. And at AMD, our mission is to give developers and gamers the tools to experience that fully. Bringing FSR upscaling 4.1 to RDNA 3 was an exciting challenge. Our newer architecture, RDNA 4, was designed with FP8 AI acceleration, a floating point format that gives the model more range to work with and makes machine learning easier. RDNA 3 does not have that specialized hardware, so our teams had to carefully tune, optimize, and validate the model for integer-based computation to maintain the high visual quality gamers expect. We optimized memory usage, reworked motion vector validation, and reduced artifacts in fast-moving scenes to make sure performance stays smooth. We tested across hundreds of PC configurations and hundreds of games to ensure visuals are sharp and everything works out of the box. Every millisecond mattered because if FSR took too long, it would defeat the purpose. The result is FSR upscaling 4.1 on RDNA 3. Bring machine learning upscaling to more players without compromising quality or performance. I'm grateful to our fans. Your enthusiasm and ideas inspire us to keep pushing gaming forward. FSR upscaling 4.1 on RDNA 3 will be ready out of the box for Radeon 7000 series players in over 300 supported games at launch. And for our RDNA 2 players, we have something exciting coming early 2027. FSR upscaling 4.1 will be coming to your cards as well, bringing sharper visuals and smoother gameplay to even more gamers. We cannot wait to show you what is next.
Now, where did he say coming to Xbox or PlayStation 5? He never said that. He said coming to PC cards. He's talking about PC here. You see what I mean? And the funny thing here is that there's console wars posting going on as well. No new console needed. He's kind of trying to say you don't need a mid-gen upgrade, as if like it's going to get the same thing as a PS5 Pro. Let's finish this off real quick and we're going to get some funny stuff here.
Stay tuned.
All right, so guys, let's go to this chart real quick. That's why this guy said relax bots. And then this guy makes up this graph that is literally just, I just started laughing at it. It's not worth reading. So the PS5 Pro has 300 tops on Int 8 comparison performance. Plus it has, as we know, a dedicated machine learning acceleration support, like tensor cores and stuff like that to help with the AI upscaling. PlayStation 5 and Xbox does not have that. The Xbox Series X has 48.6 tops. That's times 6 the tops performance to be able to handle that. You're really telling me, and we've seen where it can go. You mean to tell me you're going to get the same thing? Dude, not even close. The Steam machine only has 36 tops. That's the thing that people are saying, but it has RDNA 3. And because it has RDNA 3, it can get that this year, and it's able to take that shortcut. Now, the Series X only has RDNA 2 at 48.6 tops. There's a big difference here. RDNA 3 is definitely going to get a smoother performance and gains, whereas like RDNA 2 may have some problems, definitely on a console, right? Considering the fact too that you could be dealing with some serious latency issues. But nobody said anything in that video about it coming to consoles. Would it be nice if it did? I wouldn't mind. But I'm just saying, we're kind of jumping the gun here, and I kind of think that's kind of funny here. As he's saying, AMD's FSR 4.1 will bring AI-powered upscaling to Xbox Series X consoles and RDNA 2. See, this is what you call lying. That's why I say the Xbox base is kind of like they do this stuff all the time. Where does it say that at? He didn't say anything about that, did he? I didn't see it. I'm not giving you false information over here. I'm just saying, where did you guys see that at? Please tell me, right? Let's keep going, right? Here goes another guy. AMD's FSR 4.1 will bring AI-powered upscaling to Xbox Series X's RDNA 2 GPU, potentially PS5 Pro-like upgrade in 2027. What are you talking about? There's no PS5 Pro-like upgrade, bro. No. You don't have the technology in there to do that. It will be a nice improvement, sure, but it's not going to be Pro level. It's not even close. Compared to FSR 3, FSR 4 offers a major leap in image quality if you have the technology. Yeah. Particularly at 1080p and 1440p, resulting in sharper, more detailed images. Additionally, RDNA 2.3 GPU-equipped PC gamers and handheld devices like the ROG Ally X, it can do that. Lenovo Legion Go, MSI Claw, and the upcoming Valve Steam machine will benefit greatly. But the biggest benefit is definitely going to be for PC gamers. You see what I mean? Here it is, AMD FSR 4, but it never said that. So AMD surrenders FSR 4, a huge win for Xbox over PS5. They never said that though. Now, if they announced that, that's definitely going to be a win for Xbox over the base PlayStation 5 console that doesn't have RDNA 2 unless they somehow find a way to get that to work. I don't know. This guy says, why is no one talking about the Series S also getting the upgrade? Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be a performance hit. I don't know how that's going to be possible. Adam says, it's not going to be anything like the PS5 Pro. That console was designed for machine learning upscaling and is 6 times faster than the Series S. We saw that, 48.8. 50 times 6 is 300. That 6 times 5 is 30, just add to 0. So when you have 6 times the performance with AI acceleration support, how is it going to be anything like the PS5 Pro? It's not. That console was designed like that to be that way. L is saying, tell me why this update wouldn't reach PlayStation 5. Both are RDNA 2. If the news of reaching the RDNA 6000, 7000 is for RDNA 3. Well, that's the thing. Sony didn't go full RDNA 2. So that's kind of like the problem. From what I hear, PS5 didn't utilize all the RDNA 2 feature set, so it doesn't potentially support N8, unlike Xbox Series X, which launched with full RDNA 2 feature set. That's correct. Sony does have RDNA 2 aspects, but it's not full though. So yeah, no, that's correct. Yeah, that's where the Xbox will get the advantage for sure. It'll just get an advantage over base PS5, but it's not going to give you no PS5 Pro like results. It's like no. And like I said before, AMD worked with Mark Cerny to make these type of improvements, if you get what I mean. And because of that, it's now coming to other platforms. That's why I said that PlayStation PSSR 2 happening is benefiting all of the gaming industry and future consoles. Because in the console industry outside of Nintendo, it's AMD. And that allows them to compete more with NVIDIA. This is good. This is not bad, right? So that's one thing I like about this. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Now, I'm not saying it's not coming to Xbox. I just said that they never said that it was in this right here. There is nowhere where it said that, but there's a lot of people saying that. Like WCCF Tech is saying the same thing. Xbox Series X could outrun PlayStation 5 with AMD FSR 4.1 thanks to 2 times hardware edge and better SDK support. If that's the case, it will beat it. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that. Depending on how they design it for it as well. So we see that. If we go down to these comments, it gets interesting too. Xbox Series X is already dog walking the base PS5. I don't know about that. Not really, bro. It was beating in a lot of things. I wouldn't say that, no. So then this guy comes with this chart, and you want to know when you start reading this chart, PSSR 4.1. That's when you're like, okay, let's just not read this anymore. Like, he doesn't make any sense. He says things that obviously make sense, but it's like, what are you talking about? How Xbox can use FSR 4, PSSR 4.1? Like, no, that's PSSR 2. What the hell are you talking about? Why base PS5 and Slim cannot use FSR 4? Well, it's not full RDNA 2. But at least he has this right, dedicated machine learning accelerators for RDNA 3 on the PS5 Pro. Yeah, whereas like the Series X doesn't have dedicated machine learning accelerators. It doesn't. So he's right about that, but it's like, no, dude. Michael says, false statement. RDNA 2 is bad at running FSR 4, let alone FSR 4.1. It doesn't have the WMMA like RDNA 3 and RDNA 4. It runs using DPA4, and the latency is bad. I was talking about that, resulting bad performance. Even RDNA 3 runs worse compared to RDNA 4 because it runs on Int 8. PS5 Pro is an exception. And it is, of course, because it has the technology to do that. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a performance hit on RDNA 2. So why would you want to be below 30 frames per second when you can't get 60 on certain games? If you're thinking in any sense like the Pro, where every game is getting that 4K upscale at 60 frames, I'm telling you, it's not going to be anything like that. You don't have the technology for that. I'm just trying to bring people into reality or realistic expectations, unless AMD does some wizard sorcery. And I don't know. I don't see how that's going to do that. BXG says Series X can likely run an N8 version of FSR 4 since it supports more RDNA features than PlayStation 5, but it lacks the newer AI hardware in RDNA 4. So yes, performance and latency would be worse. But saying it can't handle it, it's exaggerated. It's not about handling, bro. It's about why would you want more latency and performance? A lot of people have talked about this before with the fake frames to make my latency go so high. Why would I want less frames per second? That's why everybody goes for performance anyways, because they're not going for 30 frames per second on the image quality. They're going for it still looks good enough, and I want my 60 frames per second. So this is not what you think it's going to be for the Xbox Series X. Now for RDNA 3 cards, it's going to be very nice. The RDNA 2, it's going to be rough. So go take a look at the backwards compatibility support for NVIDIA. When they were saying older cards are going to get DLSS support, go see what happened with that. And NVIDIA stuff is better. And that's only on PC. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's not jump the gun here. All right. If you're you know what I mean? If you're getting better image quality in comparisons, let's say that does happen, but PlayStation 5 is getting more frames per second, that's not going to be good. People are going to say, I would rather not. You know what I mean? So we kind of got our answers here. We had to peer into this. There's some funny stuff going on. There were some other funny comments too, guys. You can go around and look for them. It's actually pretty funny. But I couldn't find it because I was looking for it somewhere else. I don't know where it was, but there was some funny stuff I ran into where somebody said something very dumb on the Xbox world, and I had to laugh. Oh yeah, they were saying that, oh yeah, now PlayStation 5 is over with. The PS5 Pro is about to get dominated by FSR 4.1. Xbox didn't need a new upgrade. Some funny stuff like that. And I was laughing. I'm like, oh my God, they really do not know how stuff actually works. I don't know where it was though, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this in these threads. This already kind of starting. If you see down here, it already has 5,065 posts. So you know stuff like that is going to happen. But once again, just trying to dive deep into this for console players that probably don't care about all this nerdy stuff so you can understand it. I wanted to do that for you. Give you a realistic expectation. Don't get your hopes up to think that something like this is going to be huge and now you're going to get 60 frames per second. That's upscaling, not frame generation. Right? Upscaling is upscaling. But the only way you'd get more frames is if you drop down the image quality. And because you drop down the resolution, but you spike it up to look better than that, and that saves you some frames. That's where you get improvements on that. Unless they add something else in with that. Other than that, let's be a little bit more patient here. You still got all the way till next year to figure out how that's going to work. And by that time, you're thinking about the Helix. So we'll see. Like, subscribe as usual. Let me know what you guys think. Keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on. Later, y'all.